welcome back to Too Blessed. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing a little project that I'm working on, which has to do with this table here. This is the end table in my living room, and I've actually got two of these. And I've been wanting to do something to them for a long time now. My husband actually had these tables when we got married almost 8 years ago. So they've been in our house just like this, and my power is flashing. Oh, great. Okay, so we're going to keep going and hope that the power does not go out completely. So I was saying, we just had these tables. They were kind of, we needed tables, so we just had them. And I always, like I said, I always thought of doing something different to them, but my husband doesn't like it when I paint things. Not necessarily. So I had talked to him about possibly painting them, and he just really didn't like the idea. But with all of the craziness that's going on in the world right now, I really needed something to focus my attention on, to take my mind off all the stuff that's going on. So one day, a few days ago, while he was at work, I took the other table and I started painting it. And I was actually a little concerned that he might be upset with me. But when he got home and he saw it, he actually said it looked good. So I'm really happy that he liked it. So I've got the one table started. It's not finished yet, so I'm not going to show it to you just yet. And I thought I would just share with you some of the stages as I'm working on this one. In a minute, I'm going to take my camera and show you, because these tables have really pretty detail on the front that honestly I just never paid attention to. For one thing, because they're just this real dark color, it doesn't stand out. And, with my vision not being the greatest, I had to get really close to it before I saw that, like, the detail is really beautiful. I think the legs are really pretty. These tables are not solid wood by any stretch of the imagination. They are probably some kind of particle board, and they have like a laminate finish. So I'm using chalk paint. And actually, I discovered that this front panel with the really pretty detail is actually plastic. It's not even like fake wood, it's plastic. So I'm really glad that I'm doing this now. So the plan is that I'm actually leaving the top of the table as it is, this sort of dark wood looking color. And I'm painting the bottom, the legs, in a color that's called Ivory Tower. I'll show you the can in a minute. It's chalk paint. It's called Ivory Tower. And then after I get done with the painting, I'm going to come back in with some dark wax, and I'm going to put that on the front and probably on the legs to try to bring out some of those details. So, like I said, I've got the first table, which is actually what my phone is standing on right now. I'm looking down on it. And even just with the ivory paint, it looks so pretty. It completely has changed the table. It looks like a brand new table to me. So I'm really excited. I haven't done the wax on that one yet, because I kind of want to be able to do the wax at the same time to make sure that they come out the same. I mean, the paint is going to be paint no matter what. So I'm going to grab my phone and bring you in closer, let you see some of the detail of what it looks like now, so that you'll be able to see the difference when it's finished. So I'll be right back. So here's the front of the table, and you can see, I'm not sure if those were meant to look like daisies, but I'm thinking that's what they're supposed to be, because if you look at the hardware, it actually kind of looks like a daisy too. And the funny thing is, daisies are one of my favorite flowers. And I have daisies all over my house. So I thought that was kind of cool that worked out that way. And I had not looked at the hardware before I started working on these. I was thinking about changing the hardware, but now that I see it, especially with the design, It's really pretty. And it's actually got like a base part that goes with it. So I'm definitely going to keep the same hardware. Now the sides and the back of the table are just pretty plain. So, you know, that's fairly easy to paint. And then here is the paint that I'm using. That's the back of the can. So it's called Retique It chalk paint. I found it on Amazon. If I remember, I will include a link for it. And then I was just going to show you real quick. I've just been using these cheap foam brushes, which have worked really well on the flat parts of the table. And then on the front part with all of that detail and somewhat on the legs, I've just got this pack of cheap paint brushes, and I've been using those to get into like the little crevices and things like that. So, I'm not really going to record myself painting because that's really boring. So I'm just going to get like the first coat of paint on this, and then I will come back and show you what it looks like. All right, so here is after the first coat of paint. Yes, it looks pretty rough. It looks pretty bad right now, but you can kind of start to see what it's going to look like. The first table that I painted ended up taking 3 coats. So I'm going to guess that that's what this is going to take. But I said now you can really start to see that detail just really standing out. And I'm so excited to get this done and start putting the wax on. Oh, look at the legs. I just think those are so pretty. So I will probably check back in after I get the painting all done, and then we'll be ready to start on the wax. Okay. Trying to get this set up so you can get at least a little bit of a view of what I'm doing, hopefully. I don't have a good setup here. So, both of my tables are painted. I've got both of them up here. They're sitting on top of my coffee table so that I can sit on the couch and work on them, because that makes it a lot easier for me. So, now I'm going to start applying the wax. If you've never worked with chalk paint, once you do the paint and it dries, then you want to finish it with a wax, which is going to kind of seal it. And there are different colors of wax that you can use. This one is by Folk Art, and I can't tell if that's coming through. There we go. I used this before. If you saw my video where I did the little sort of mini makeover of my fireplace decor, I had added some decorative pieces onto my mirror, and this is the wax that I used to bring out the details. So I'm going to use the same wax now on my tables. This is a liquid wax, and there are also paste wax that you just kind of rub on. So this one is liquid, and you just kind of paint it on like a paint, but it's actually even a little bit thinner. And the really nice thing about these waxes, or at least the one that I have used here, is that it's very forgiving. So when I first started trying to use it, I was really nervous about it maybe being too dark, but you brush it on and then you can take like a paper towel or a cloth or something and you can wipe it back off. So if you don't like how it's turning out, you can just take that wax off and start over. So I'm just going to start applying this, and I don't know that I'll video the entire process, but I'll let you at least kind of see what I'm doing, and we will see how this turns out. Okay, so it's been a number of hours now since I started working on this. This is kind of a bit of a tedious process, but this is how it's looking so far. I'm really happy with this one. I think this one looks good, but this is the second one. So here's the first one. And it's not bad, but it just doesn't look as good as the second one, I feel like. I don't know. To you, it might look the same. To me, it doesn't. The background on the first one is a little bit darker because I initially had put the wax all over everything, and then I didn't like it. So I went back in and started repainting the background with the ivory paint. And then on this one, I didn't put the wax all over everything. I left the background with the ivory. So I like that a lot better. So I think on this one, I'm going to have to go back in and do at least one more coat of the ivory, because it just makes the details stand out a lot more, you can see. But I've been having to go back and forth because when I do the wax, I get it on the ivory parts. And the last time I used this wax, I think I had said this before, if you got it on an area and you didn't like it, you could just wipe it off. But I guess because I'm using a lighter colored paint, even when I wipe off the wax, it's leaving some of the coloring behind. So it still darkens that paint. So I'm having to do wax and then go back in with the ivory and sort of touch up the edges, and then sometimes go back in with the wax again. So it's taking a little longer than I thought it would, but I'm happy with it. So I'm working my way around. I don't know if you can tell on the legs, I've been doing just a little bit right in all the little crevices there. I didn't want it to get too dark, but I did want to bring the color of the wax down into the rest of the table. So I'm going to keep working my way around. I've got to go back and finish the legs, and then I'm going to come back and do a little bit more touch up, especially on this one. And then I will show you where I'm at that point. All right, so here is one of the finished tables. I've just gotten it put back into place. My floors are dirty. I'm going to walk over here and show you the other one and my messy couch. I've just kind of thrown everything on the couch there. So here's the other one. And I'm really happy with how they turned out. Now, as you're looking at them, you can probably see that they're not perfect, but that's okay. Those of you that know me, my vision is pretty bad. I'm legally blind. So, you know, sometimes things don't turn out perfectly for me, but that's okay. So I'm going to get these decorated, get everything back in place, and then I'll come back and show you what it all looks like put back together. Okay, so here's how everything looks kind of put back together. A little more normal. So I really like how the tables look. They really brightened up those corners instead of just how plain and dark they were before. So I really like how it looks. My next project is going to be working on this coffee table. And I'm going to be trying to make it look at least a little bit similar to the end tables. So I'm going to be stripping the top and restaining it darker. And then the bottom will be painted in that ivory color, just like the end tables. So I'm going to be starting on that pretty soon. So that'll be another video coming up. But in the meantime, guys, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.